Miss Shapin was constructed for the sole purpose of taking her builders fishing on the Swanson River. And fishing we did. It was from the deck of Miss Shapin that my oldest son Alan took his first fish. It was early spring in the second year of Miss Shapin's life, and Alan was 4 years old, when he and I took the little boat with a wow in the bow and camped and fished along the Swanson. Alan may not even remember the day, but I do. We had waited all winter and watched the snow pile up on the bottom of Miss Shapin lying upside down in the backyard. When the weather turned warmer, we assisted the snow melt by shoveling the compacted white stuff off and away from Miss Shapin. Towards spring, as increasing daylight hours allowed a sliver of sunlight between job and dinner, we'd temporarily tip Miss Shapin on her side and do little repairs and maintenance and talk and dream of the season's first fishing trip. Then, the fateful Friday found us motoring down the Seward Highway in our old Nash Rambler with Miss Shapin on top. It was nearly dark when we showed up at the Swanson. It was dark by the time the tent was pitched, sleeping bags spread out, dinner prepared and consumed, and the 5-horsepower Evinrude mounted on Miss Shapin sloped transom in anticipation of the morning's first light and the season's first catch. Alan hardly slept that night. It was his first real trip away from his mother, away from the security of his own bed, and then there was the excitement of being big enough to go upriver and fish with his dad. Every time I'd check my watch during the night, he'd be awake and ask if it was time to go fishing yet. Finally, it was time to fish, and we pointed Miss Shapin upriver, pushed by our little blue-gray outboard blowing a bluish exhaust cloud. There was a spring chill to the air, and, although the Evinrude was incapable of putting Miss Shapin on the step, the small breeze created by our upriver movement bit our cheeks and nose. Realizing that if Alan got too cold it might spoil his trip and even turn him off future fishing outings, we stopped at the first upriver hole. I'd never fished that hole before, thinking that it was too close to the road to be very good fishing. Alan was fishing with a packaged combination outfit purchased from B&J Surplus. I baited his number 14 gold hook with a small yellow salmon egg. After a few tries, he was casting in the Swanson the way he had practiced it back home in the front room. It was on maybe his 4th or 5th try that a small Swanson rainbow grabbed the hook and ran for cover. Alan took 2 steps back and at the same time jerked with all his 4-year-old might. The momentum of the motion caused him to stumble over the tackle box, scattering hooks, leader, line, and lures. He quickly recovered and discovered he had landed his first fish. Having heard us talk about releasing the little ones, he immediately asked if this one was big enough to keep and take home and show Mom and then eat. If it wasn't at least 8 inches, we always threw them back, even if we were fishing for a shore lunch or a campside breakfast. I showed Alan the tape measure where it read 8 inches. He put his fish alongside the tape. The fish was too short. Then Alan did what every sportsman has done forever. He released his fish. The little rainbow darted for the protection of the overhanging bank. That's how I remember Alan's first fish. We've fished and hunted together now for nearly 4 decades, and Alan still has that kind of personal integrity. If it ain't right, he just doesn't do it. I've always been grateful for Swanson River, the little boat with the wow in the bow, for fishing, and for the opportunity to be one-on-one with my son and being there when the 4-year-old took a giant step toward the man he was to become.
When you go outdoors, take a young person with you and teach them by your example what it means to be a sportsman. Behind the wheel or in the boat or on the road or in the lake, take the high trail and practice ethics of fair chase. Goodbye and good luck. May God bless you in the land of the midnight sun, and may your days be happy and long in Alaska's outdoors.